We good?
Yeah.
All righty. Let me hit the done button there. All righty, y'all. Peace and greetings to you all. Islam to you. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hasan Ghazi Obey here from Rockaway, Northwest Connection. How are you? Guys, you know I'm here with our magnificent and beloved brother in whom I'm well pleased, Brother Charlene Mel. Happy Holy Venus degree to you all. Guys, we're just no, usually you guys probably, some of you guys are probably saying, what's wrong? Why does Hasan sound that way? I'm very aware that, usually I have a different kind of energy. I'm just in a certain mindset where I'm going to be corresponding more with people as so-called in seats of government. And so I just been wrapping my mind around those things, and me and Brother Sean have been conversing and really just discussing the steps that need to take place in order to enforce what Prophet Noble Drew Ali expects us to enforce for the greater good of fallen humanity, not just for Hasan, not just for Sean, not just for 7HealStar, really for those that are sincerely and genuinely comprehending what Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought. And we're going to do it in a way where we're going to make sure things get done instead of just sharing the concepts into doing it or whatever. Because I'd much rather we get our lunch, share the lunch, instead of splitting a lunch ticket and ending up with no lunch. So my mindset is wrapped around that. Speaking in an intelligent tone so that ones may receive a favorable reply. That just the whole spirit of that is paramount and right behind Prophet Noble Drew Ali in the forefront of our minds, honestly. Right? So we're going to get started. We're actually, it's as I looked ahead, we have about 4.5 pages left of Clock of Destiny Book 1. And we'll be complete Clock of Destiny Book 1. Question is, whether you're here live now or you catch this recording later, would you like us to go into Clock of Destiny Book 2? Because we did Zodiac Constitution, didn't we, bro? We went in on Zodiac Constitution, read that. We read Clock of Destiny Book 1. We'll be complete with it today. So it's only right, I guess, to go over Clock of Destiny Book 2. Do you guys, is that what you guys, would you guys like that? Is that what you want? So let us know. Either if you're here now, let us know, or if you're here later to see the replay, let us know. Right? As of right now, it's 0 people here, and that's fine. It's the middle of the day, late afternoon. And we know when you guys can see it, you will see it. And when you come in, it is what it is, right? I think I would like for all Moors that are really doing their best to be on this journey pertaining to jurisprudence. I mean, soon I'm going to kind of, set up a meeting. I think it's a Zoom meeting. I think it needs to happen much sooner than later. And maybe just go over really making sure it's known what we have. I don't think people are clear on what we have in terms of what Prophet Noble Drew Ali has brought us. It's almost 100 years, and I think more of us should know what we have been brought and how we could have basic things, basic needs, food, clothing, shelter. And an extension of shelter is an automobile. All right, that's an extension of the home. It just is. All right. So we have our authority. We're here to, fulfill our mission and to do what needs to be done. Right. And if ones aren't clear on what that mission is, I mean, it's again, this is our authority, right? Next to, our invocation in, Brother Sean's going to go in, right? our authority, guys. Right? We can do things based on this corporation, religious affidavit of organization, right? Pertaining to the Religious Corporation Act, 805, Illinois Compiled Statute 110. All righty. Recorded 1928 on August 1st at 1400 hours and 52 minutes, or 2:52 p.m., as we can see here. All right. And it just goes to show, and Noble Drew Ali and Salomis just kind of get you, right? It was a recorder. Moorish Holy Temple of Science, held at Chicago and the county of Cook in the state of Illinois. On the 20th day of July, Anno Domini 1928, for that purpose, the following persons were appointed sheiks according to the rules and usages, which we went over when we read that 4-page letter pertaining to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The last 4 pages pertaining to the Moorish literature, excerpts from the Moorish Guide newspaper. Rules and usages of such Moorish Holy Temple of Science. Do solemnly swear that at a meeting of the members of the Noble Drew Ali, Mealy Ill, Small Bay, Levitt Bay, and Foreman Bay. I get it. Why is it in all capital letters? Right? Again, Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali is doing corporate religious activity by affidavit of organization, being Noble Drew Ali. All righty. So this is how ones can see that the corporate side is based on Bill of Right 1. This does not mean that Prophet Noble Drew Ali owes any debt to so-called federal government, state government, anything like that. The purpose is outlined what's being done when the meeting of the members of the Noble Drew Ali, Mealy Ill, Small Bay, Levitt Bay, and Foreman Bay, the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, deriving its power and authority from the great Quran of Muhammad to propagate. Why are we doing this? We're doing this to propagate the faith and extend the learning and truth of the great prophet of Ali in America, to appoint and consecrate missionaries of the prophet and to establish the faith of Muhammad in America. It is when me and Brother Sean discuss things as simple as solving our social and economic issues by making sure that we are clear, that we're establishing relationships with those who are in position to assist us in attaining to the highest of the heights that can be attained pertaining to social and economic security, making sure that those people are doing what their obligation entails. That's the faith of Muhammad in America. That's the mission. That's the faith being propagated. That's the learning and truth that's being extended. It is not complicated. I spent 10 years, I'm in my 10th year now, in studying this. And it's very simple and easy to the point where we're saying it off the top of our heads in under 5 minutes and making connections that we get it. People that have not seen these things how we see them, or are not studying these things how we're studying them, if we're going to see that we're really deep and really intelligent, and it's like that is you're describing what a brother is, and you calling it deep and intelligent and what, that's fine. That's fine. That's your opinion on what you're observing. What we're doing is propagating the faith and extending the learning and truth pertaining to the great prophet Ali, great prophet of Ali in America. Appointing, consecrating, and consecrating missionaries of the prophet, and to establish the faith of Muhammad in America. I don't care what prophet you think of. All prophets are reformers. Firstly, reforming the mindset, the concept in the minds of the people, so that the people can change their mind, which is repenting, through the faith being propagated and the learning and truth being extended. Period. That's already done and established. To do anything else outside of our authority is to miscomprehend what we have. And there are, I think, call it an opinion, that there are a lot of beings that are Moorish American that do not comprehend this. There are a lot of beings who want to call themselves other than Moorish American. They want to call themselves Moroccan or Moricans or Maors, or no, I'm a Moor with the 2 U's, not the 2 R's, or we're just more. How about one mother's breast have given us up? We're all one. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali and his philosophy is universal. And he just came to us copper-toned Moors here at the North Gate first, because we need him the most. Not to sing hymns and bang tambourines in the Moorish Science Temple of America to, replace the word Jesus and God in the hymnal lyrics with, Prophet Noble Drew Ali and Allah. That's not the goal. That's not the goal, y'all. And it's a lot of people out there who they didn't have the time that I had to study. And I get it. And by me knowing that, I knew that my mission in assisting what Prophet Noble Drew Ali has established was to help so that we would not know what it is that Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought us. Happy Holy Venus degree, Mother Sahara. We're clear on what we have. And that's why the said Moorish Holy Temple of Science adopted as its corporate name the following: Moorish Science Temple of America. There is no comma, INC after that. That Moorish Science Temple of America, comma, INC is evidence of someone trying to take charge of the situation. That is evidence of being jealous of Prophet Noble Drew Ali and what he has established. It's evidence of doing wrong by the people. It's evidence that those that think they're doing the right thing in the Moorish Science Temple of America, comma, INC. It's evidence that by your own conduct, you have removed yourself from this right here on this screen. Why? Because I'm 39. Oh, he under 40. He a young and he don't know no better. This is for the young and yet unborn. When Prophet Noble Drew Ali was saying what he was saying back in the 1920s, I didn't come until 1984. I think I'm that young and yet unborn that he established this for. And now that it's being said the way it's being said, it's making a lot of people who's supposed to be strictly Moorish American, who have sold out just a bit to be some Prince Hall Mason or Eastern Star, and they're not enforcing our authority. And now we have what on the planet? Trustee malfeasance, trustee fraud. What do you think you sheiks are? You sheiks are trustees, vestrymen, wardens, right? Why have you breached trust with such conduct? Why not correct yourselves? Don't try to stop those of us that are sincere Moorish Americans, true and faithful Moorish Americans, who only want the law to be enforced for the benefit of all, universally. There's too much family feuding and warring going on. Radical agitating speeches at work, at home, and on the streets and the internet, which is further evidence that it is not comprehended what we have here for our salvation as an American citizen. The reason we have a religious corporation is to be able to facilitate the things that we need with the assistance of those that are in public service, those public trustees. That's why Prophet Noble Drew Ali assisted Lewis Lincoln Emerson from being the Secretary of State pertaining to Illinois by having Moors cast a free national ballot so that he can then become the governor pertaining to Illinois. Because Lewis Lincoln Emerson, being the public trustee that he was and is at that time, was assisting Prophet Noble Drew Ali in his mission to propagate the faith, extend the learning and truth, and to establish the faith of Muhammad in America. Like, come on, man. Why am I 39 and can see that and say how I just said it? How come I can see chapter 47 in the Quran, make the connection with, okay, that's our dominion based on who we are as outlined in the 101 questions for Moorish Americans, because we already know that the two documents that Prophet Noble Drew Ali held to show the books that we need to save ourselves with is the Holy Quran and the 101 questions for Moorish Americans. Because he brought everything it takes to save a nation. Now we got to take it and save ourselves. He brought everything that it takes to save a nation. Now take it and save yourself. Self is the nation. Nation is self. What is wrong with your thinking? That you have to sit here, misbehave, have misconduct, forsake being Moorish American for what? A lodge membership? When we can be directing, instructing, and discipline as needed public trustees. Being Moorish American isn't about being slick, getting out of things. Being Moorish American is about enforcing the law and making sure things are done properly, and stop trying to pull people into jurisdictions that they never belonged in the first place. So there are a lot of people who come to Moorish science and like, man, I'm trying to solve this. Look, I get you trying to solve that issue that you think, and maybe some people gonna try to say, oh, he trying to, get away from his responsibilities. No. How about we go to the beginning and that brother and or sister wasn't even supposed to be acting under statute like that. So now there are discriminatory practices that are forcing them to be one who can be charged with 18 USC 912 impersonating an officer. What are we doing here? It is heartbreaking and frustrating to see what Prophet Noble Drew Ali has brought for us. And we are squandering our inheritance by not being knowledgeable and consistent pertaining to this propagated faith and extended learning and truth, which shows that we are ungrateful and unfaithful when it comes to great measurement. Muhammad, great mead measure. We're not measuring great. We're not properly using our compass and square as a people universally. However, as far as my loved ones, my brothers, I'm making sure that this is always a discussion and these words are said in these combinations or different combinations there from what you've heard just now. Brother Sean, you got anything you want to add before you do the invocation then, brother? And you can start when you want.
Man, bro, I think I don't got no ad libs for that, but yeah, it's just doing the work. Like for those dirty Moors, those who are not doing as a prophet instructed, and also those people who haven't even read the literature, who might try to talk shit or throw shade about Prophet Noble Drew Ali or about Moors. You're only throwing shade and hate at yourself. Like, have you looked in the mirror lately? Like, he brought this for us to remind us of the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. Y'all, people talk about, oh, we was kings and shit, and from this and from that, but not even acting like it. Like, it's just frustrating because it's so simple, like that Wu-Tang song. It's all so simple, but it's overcomplicated, and people just don't care. People are not compassionate about others. They only care about themselves. They only care about things. They don't care about it if it doesn't happen to them. But it is happening to you. It's happening to me. It's happening to everybody. We are here to fix this and bring harmony and peace. You can look on social media, TV, and everything else. What do you see? So-called war, violence, destructions, debate, hate, and everything else. And people are asking why, how can we fix this? And the answer will be in front of them because it doesn't look how they want it to look. They ignore it, or they just really don't care. They really just don't. They are only caring about themselves. They're not caring about everybody else. Just think about it. Social, economic, and political security. That wipes out mothers having to sell their bodies, the hoods having to shoot up each other, which that still might go because we are always going to be a beefing people, but it's because everyone's not secure, thinking they have to take things from others, or all these other things that has been supplied by whoever you want to call it. Allah, God, the creator, universe, the divine, it's all been supplied. We are just naturally plain rich. This is the land and resources that is ever abundant. I don't care what they say about debt or this and short. They just playing on your spirit. Everything is provided for. Why are we paying for things if we're not running a business or reselling? Everybody should have those basic necessities to be secure and be the best and highest version of themselves. Y'all talk about bankers and all these other things, but are still supporting those ones who are oppressing you. What was that? Render unto Caesar what is his? Are you going to choose your more science or the Roman things that's been fucking up the game? And even some of our own people that's supporting them, that's in your face to make it look like it's cool. Like, are y'all really going to look deep within and start having that conversation with yourselves, your loved ones, your friends, rather than the various distractions, which, you know, entertainment's cool. Nothing against it. It's cool to have, but there's real deal work to be done. And people don't want to be accountable. They rather wait for somebody else. Why wait for somebody else and you can step up and do something? What are you good at? What's in your spirit to do? How can you help? And that's really where we're at, man. Like, it's frustrating because no one should be hurting, going without when there's an overabundance and people have a bias, discrimination, and mindset to want to discriminate and keep things from the people. And most of these beings ain't even home. Selling water to us, electricity, clothes, and all that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, after tomorrow, and it's already been cooking, the shift is going to happen. It's just, are the people up for it? Can y'all be more humanitarian rather than self-interest? Can you see the bigger picture than just you? You can still have your own picture and your own ideals, but this has to be about everyone working together, being their best, being peace, you know what I'm saying? Being love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice on this plane.
Well, Zahara says indeed and absolutely. And Mother Carmisha says peace and love, 7HealStar astrology firm. Happy holy day. Happy holy degree to you also, Mother Carmisha. All right, Brother Sean, you ready to do the invocation then?
Yeah.
We're reading from the Moor Holy Temple of Science Administrative Functions. We see on page 48, handsomely standing Dugard in this Moor Sharif Fez and Abaz Prophet Noble Drali. As we have read in the authority here, right? Founder, Moor Science Temple of America, by Moor Holy Temple of Science, adopting as its corporate name, Moor Science Temple of America. Guys, we're going to stand on a 45 facing east. As you see, Prophet Noble Drali's feet is there on a 45 facing east, which metaphysically denotes going within. So that's why we're facing directional east. We're going to extend all 5 appendages on the left hand, just the index and middle on the right. And this is how we'll stand while we're on the 45. And we will repeat after Brother Sean, either aloud or in our hearts, as he does our invocation in the Moorish American prayer. Islam.
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 Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Noble Drew Ali.
Noble Drew Ali.
Amen.
All righty, y'all. First letter to be read in every meeting. Following is a letter written by Prophet Noble Drali on the 18th day of January, Anno Domini. That was yesterday, right? January 18th. So we are at the 96th year anniversary of this letter being written as of yesterday. All right. He commanded that it be read before every meeting. Administrative functions, Moor Science Temple of America, Home Office, 3603 Indiana Avenue, Noble Drali, founder, Chicago, Illinois, January 18th, 1929. To be proclaimed in every meeting. Dear brother Islam, I'm glad to know that I have few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There's a host of jealousy, quote unquote, about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as an American citizen. They are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that contribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me in the movement will be remembered. That is why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance and I need it bad. Never before have I needed finance as badly as I do at present, that I may shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my, quote, fame and nobility, end quote, period. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven by my work in which I have performed in the last few months, because I was at the governor's inauguration to represent the Moorish divine and national movement. And I will be at the inauguration of President Hoover for the same cause, Noble Drew Ali. We're going to the excerpts from the Moorish Guide newspaper that has been compiled into a book that we know as the Moorish literature. We're here on pages 12 and 13. And again on page 12, handsomely standing due guard in his Moorish studies, fez and abba, his prophet Noble Drew Ali. And we yield the floor to our beloved brother, whom we're well pleased, Brother Sean Molina.
Islam. Divine warning by the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Prophet warns all Muslim. Governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali, and if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. By order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Islam. Let's continue. Clock of Destiny, Book 1, and we are at the last 4 1/3 of a page, right? And we're starting here at disease which medicine cannot cure, right? We kind of previewed it last Friday. And as usual, Brother Sean's going to do the reading, and I will do the kind of ad-libbing, right? So with that being said, I yield the floor to our beloved brother in whom we're well pleased, Brother Sean Alino, Islam.
Islam. All right. Disease which medicine cannot cure. Amalgamation is the only cure for the white people's quote unquote disease.
And I know people are like, what the prophet said, we are not to amalgamate with the pale skinned nations of Europe. You know, again, according to my studies thus far, Prophet Noble Drew Ali was saying that because we were out of order, didn't have the mindset necessary to comprehend and recognize why that bloodening back process is to take place. Because the pale skins are out of harmony with nature. In order to save them is to blend with them. And I get it. People may think I've been mean over the years or saying I'm not a willing participant to be with an Albion daughter. It's just not my first pick. It's not. My consort isn't an Albion. And I trust that we are here, you know what I mean, for a long, 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 long life and together. So I don't have to be like, oh, well, all right, I'm not in a relationship no more. Maybe I should think about an Albion daughter. That's not my desire. Nor is that what I'm invoking in my life. Nor is that what I affirm. However, I am for advocating for the amalgamation when the thinking is proper and when things are in harmony with ending the crime, social, and economic issue on the planet at large. I yield, brother Islam.
Had not the daughters of the revolution established a Roman code of isolation from the Moorish or Asiatic sons, the diseases such as leprosy, tuberculosis, and syphilis would have been destroyed through amalgamation. Today, there are not enough hospitals, insane institutions, or prisons to accommodate the lily white, quote unquote, people.
Look at that. So that means that our Albion sons and daughters are suffering from illness, physical and mental, which also brings about social and economic issues, which makes them commit crime, which then also is being done by maybe some means of influence by copper tone people participating. And that's not even your nature. That's not your nature, even though a lot of things have happened because of disagreements, family feuds, declining to an all-time low morally. Go ahead, I yield.
Neither has medical science discovered a cure for the three diseases. Therefore, the Daughters of America Revolution Code, or D.A.R, has caused the lily white, quote unquote, people of the world to decline to an all-time low mentally, morally, physically, crime. Leprosy is referred to as Lazarus, quote unquote, in the Christian Bible. See, and that paragraph should make y'all think back to Wednesday when we went over Big Ben Bay, who they termed Benjamin Banneker.
Talking about, him giving the word God to the dark priesthood as a means to basically punish the people, to make them realize, like, oh shit, we need to not do this. We're getting our ass kicked with dogma, religious mythology, when true religion is binding ourselves back to that mindset pertaining to our ancient foremothers and forefathers so that our days are long upon the earth land. And what is that? Astrology, the science of the 12 signs of the zodiac, geometry, and the numbers 0 through 9. That's it. That's all. That's no belief. That's knowledge. Period. I yield, bro. Islam.
The diseases such as leprosy, tuberculosis, and syphilis was unknown prior to the creation of the blind people.
Wow.
Once again, it was unknown. So when they tell you, oh, it's been no. All right. Prior to the creation of the ruddy skinned, blonde, hairy-bodied sons, the diseases, namely leprosy, tuberculosis, syphilis, were unknown to the kinky-haired, heavy olive hue or dark brown-skinned Asiatic nation. All right, knowledge of biology, anatomy, organic chemistry, pigmentation, botany, and electronics. the magnet law of opposite attraction involving steel and iron elements. Influenced the Asiatic scientist bearing the name of Yakub Kush or Kush to create the ruddy-skinned suns through animalistic experimentation so as to manifest the great human or bouquet through a measurable process of global amalgamation with the Asiatic nation.
Jesus Christ. Man, I yell, man. I mean, that needs no ad-libbing. But go ahead, I yell.
Yakub's creative human and animalistic experimentation had its beginning in the geographical mountain regions of Venezuela, Yucatan, and Honduras of Central America, embracing the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean Sea, and the Pacific Ocean.
That's why I've said so many times that they're not Europeans. They're South Americans. That pale skin is a South American. Period. That's why we say modern Europeans.
Nah, they're like, I'm an American. No, you're a South American.
Yeah, you're an amalgamated result. You are an experimental outcome. Respectfully, I'm not being mean.
It is what it is, you know.
Islam.
All right, let's see. Which resulted in the fall of civilization to rise again through ignorance, superstition, human hatred, amalgamation, medical science, human warfare, bloodshed, destruction, starvation, and sorrow. Such is the great price humanity has paid for the human bouquet.
Look at that. So this lets you know that there was something else going on. And again, the experiment that Yakub did was blending the genes of the Asiatic nation with the genes of the chimpanzee and making that combination of the Asiatic nation, the Asiatic mothers, the copper tone mothers, mixing that gene with that of the chimpanzee, bringing forth what? Pale skins over a 600-year process. And anytime the mothers were producing babies that were dark olive, quote unquote, olive hue or quote unquote dark brown, they were doing partial birth abortions with those babies. Anything that came out light or pale, they were holding on to them. When I was in the Nation of Islam in my early 20s, I had to take my Kalima Shahada. And during my Kalima Shahada, there was a picture, a beautiful portrait of Prophet Noble Drew Ali held. And this was at Muhammad's Temple of Islam #1, where they have the Muhammad Speaks newspaper, not the final call. So that's not a Farrakhan anything. That is the Caliph of Islam, Emmanuel Abdullah Muhammad, purely enforcing the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. That was one school I graduated from. Now I'm here. And there it's said that Yakub lived 150 years into the 600-year process of having the pale skin come forth. And at one time, I thought the first pale skin came forth about 4004 BC. However, now I comprehended, I'm trying to remember what I read, but I think the pale skin is barely 1,072 years old. The pale skin hasn't been on the planet longer than 1,070 years, maybe 1,071 years.
Yeah, that's in the Clock of Destiny. I think somewhere in like the Saturn No Way Out or something section like that.
Okay, so that's in Clock of Destiny book 2 then,
Yeah, yeah.
which eventually we will get to. So with that being said, basically before 900 AD, there was no pale skin. Not to the extent that we're seeing it. So that just lets you know how recent that experiment was. Respectfully, I yield, bro. Islam.
Hmm. The Asiatic women, pardon me, scientists are responsible for Yakub's success. The
Mm-hmm.
Asiatic women scientists agreed to amalgamate with Yakub's first creation of ruddy-skinned sons, from which resulted in the reproduction of both ruddy blonde sons and feminine, which proved to be good and very good, in harmony with Yakub's dream. Although it required a long process of medical care and surgery to develop the physical form and mind of the blonde sons and feminine. Yakub and staff scientists discovered that amalgamation between the Asiatic sons and blind feminine was the greatest weapon to combat the new diseases, namely leprosy, tuberculosis, syphilis, due to the mass reproduction of Asiatic children.
So look at that. Even though the mothers hold the key, which was good to producing what Yakub wanted, it was like to really solve the issue. The sons had to mate with the Albion daughters to combat the new disease. And with that in mind is why the amalgamation would take place. Not with the mindset of, yo, I got a snow bunny. I just mess with snow bunny, son. I can't mess with them. You know what I mean? Those quote unquote, as they call black women. But we know black is pale. So the pale skin is the black woman. But, brothers will try to find or say or find excuses to not deal with the Asiatic mothers, which is the copper tone mothers, right? To make an excuse. However, there are some sons, some Asiatic sons, Moor sons, whose destiny is to be with the pale skinned daughters. It would be even greater to have that with this knowledge. I yield the floor, Islam.
Um, and as a result, it was necessary for the blind sons to become social isolates on the islands of the high seas in order to prevent the spread of the new diseases.
So it's like, let's put the sons in the cave. That's where you get the caveman from. And so it's like the Asiatic sons are to now, obviously, blend with the Asiatic mothers and the Albion mothers or Albion daughters. That's what I'm seeing there. Because it's like, okay, well, if the mothers, because of course I'm thinking nationality depends on the mother, so it's best that things all happen through the mothers, but it's like the lowest of creation is the Albion sons. That's no disrespect at all. Because I gotta admit, when it comes to John Alexander Dix Bay, I'm telling you, I love that Albion son. like I mean, we've never met, or the conversations that we had and how we get along. I love John Alexander Dix Bay. It's a really good Albion son, and I call him brother also. You know what I'm saying? However, he has the Moorish mark though. John's not blonde. John has the Moorish mark. He has that Asiatic hair and eye. Alrighty. So let's make sure that's clear too, especially if he sees this. If he's here now or not, or he'll see it later. You
Shout
know
out to
what I'm
John
saying?
Alexander.
Yeah, indeed. You know what I mean? So it's well known because I consider him a brother. And he doesn't take, being known as an Albion son in offense at all. You know what I mean? Happy Holy Venus degree to Brother Derek Blash Bay, and Islam to YouTube brother Corey C. Thomas. Right. And like I know y'all just getting here too. So let me say again, I think there's going to have to be a meeting with Moorish Americans on our Zoom so that we can really, go over what it is that we have from Prophet Noble Ali so that we don't continue to, misperceive and misconceive that which we have. So, but yeah, that's why the Blonde Sons had become social isolates. So in other words, that's where people will be like, oh, where the caveman come from? Come from Asiatic sons putting pale skinned sons. He keeps saying blonde, right? Ruddy blonde sons in the caves so that they would no longer have sex and ejaculate in any of the women, whether they were Asiatic or pale skin. You want to talk about Masonic secrets unveiled? You're welcome. I yield, bro. Islam.
During which period the blonde woman had lost their identity as a result of long process of amalgamation. The diseases also had disappeared with the ruddy shade of skin on global scales.
Look at that. I yield.
All of which resulted in the light olive hue-skinned Asiatics with straight and curly black hair and black eyes, endowed with cunning wisdom.
Mm-hmm. I yield.
This group resorted to amalgamation with the outclassed blonde sons of the islands, which resulted in mass reproduction of blonde children who paved the way for the great rise of the outcast sons of leprosy through the powerful, intriguing influence of the ruddy-skinned blind daughters, referred to as the, quote, Red Queen tribal rulers, end quote, with their red sun chieftains of vandalism in the northern hemisphere, the Indian Trail, quote unquote. The white people, should be quote unquote there, are the Indians.
And that's why, again, it bothers me when, and I know, shout out to Trading Brigade and shout out to Rich Man, right? From Lawful Living. We met Wednesday, right? In a, as we could briefly for our Amiki Curiae, right? And I get what they were saying about Indians, Native Americans, and I know it's on our nationality cards. I get it. Is my status white? Yes. Am I a pale skin? No. And what I'm seeing here is the ruddy, pale skin, we can say blonde, daughters and sons. They're the Indians. That's why I said that really has nothing really to do with us. However, to see on your nationality card that we got from RVBaypublications.com, what we're actually invoking there is how we are to be dealt with because our status is white. So technically, Brother Hasan is a white people. Brother Sean is a white people. All Moorish Americans are white people, even though we're not pale skinned. So that's how that chess move of language can be utilized in our benefit as far as what's written in the Constitution. Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3. Indians not taxed. But again, one would have to be a really awesome thinker to comprehend what I just said. If anybody got questions, comments, and or suggestions, you can put them in the chat now as you're listening. But I hope that's comprehended, what I just said. I yield the floor, beloved brother, Islam.
Islam. Yaqub is an Arabic name. Yaqub is referred to in the Christian Bible as Jacob, quote unquote. Thus, the sons and their daughters of the head tribe of Yaqub finally caught up with civilization on August 6, 1945, the era of the atomic bomb.
Look at that. Jesus, Bruce Lee Christ, man. I yield. Islam.
Mm-hmm. Names of deception and confusion. Yaqub's sons and daughters have given themselves many names, most common of which are Afghan, or African, Indian, Spanish, Negro, Egyptians, Ethiopian, Morocco, quote unquote, or Greek, Red Man, Jew, and the last of which is China, quote unquote, or white people, quote unquote.
Did y'all just read that? What you Masonic secrets? This isn't bro. That's why I
Bro,
said,
do you see how it is when people don't read? They want to argue about I'm African, Indian, all this and that. And it's like y'all ain't even read.
Oh, and then what they'll say is, who wrote this? Who is he? Oh, that's that Moor stuff. So since he's a Moor and a Mason, he writing deceptive stuff right there. That what he writing is deception. It's like, no, because we can trace 236 years of what you're reading here from Ben Bey to Prophet Noble Drew Ali to Charles Mosley Bey. Let's not even play with this. Just admit that you can't conceive what's being said here because you have an agenda to think of yourself and people a certain way that's out of harmony with nature, out of harmony with the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers, so that our days may be long upon the earth land. It's not hard. I had to do it. I had to admit when things like, oh, okay, I didn't comprehend that right. However, since I learned about nationality when I was 8 years old, going to St. John's Lane near the Howard County Corporation, Maryland State Republic, and Miss Zabiaka, who eventually became Miss Civic through a matrimonial obligation, teaching us about Switzerland and Kenya. And that during that third grade, I realized, I'm like, okay, I'm not black then. Because we learned that black and white is not a nationality in third grade. And then because I kept getting in trouble in fourth grade in detention, that's when I got my Etimon degree. Because when Miss Minnie Love, if she's still living, shout out to Miss Minnie Love for James Mosier Elementary School near the Baltimore Corporation, fourth grade. She would put words on there on the board for that we had to write, and she was like, "Don't skip the etymology." Oh, she will hold you. You skip that etymology. You ever been to school at 5 o'clock at night?
Jeez.
School let out at 2:40.
Yes.
That's why I said, man, I can look back and be thankful for some of these things. Right? C. Thomas says Aboriginal Native American. I get it. I don't mind just being just American. Because I get now. I get that I don't have to say all these other adjectives before American. But then again, I've read this. This is, I don't know if this is like the 10th, 11th, 12th, 11th time I've read this. I purposely read Prophet Noble Drew Ali and C.M. Bay's literature regularly throughout every year. And again, I'm in my 10th year. So that's why I said it's definitely I'm at about 11 to 12 by this time. Just now we decided to put it into, now as we see, a 13-part video of just going over Clock of Destiny Book 1. Go ahead, continue, bro. Yeah, that's these Yaqub's sons and daughters have, given themselves many names. But that doesn't mean that's who they are. I yield.
The myth of white supremacy, referred to as the walls of China, quote unquote, the world of make believe.
Look at this. Jesus, Bruce Lee Christ.
When conversing,
Don't believe nothing. Make sure you go and research it. Like I said, over these past 10 years of me, I'm more than clear and have my concepts correct. I don't I don't need to be like, oh, that was a mistake. No, I comprehend it. Seriously. I yield, bro. Islam.
Islam. Yeah, that definitely was book two. We talked about it earlier.
Yeah, Clock of Destiny book 2.
Like a
Islam.
thousand years, yeah. When conversing with the so-called white people. Howdy, niggas. No, I'm just joking.
My favorite family to deliver milk to. The niggas. Which is the pale skin. The pale skin is the troglodyte nigger. Derived from the troglodyte nigger. The pale skin is the black people. Because pale and black is the same thing. It's just black is old English.
Hold on, brother. You're speaking too deep, brother. Hold on. What you mean pale and black is the same thing?
Far from it. However, I yield. Let's finish reading this 1947 document. You got all these people born in the 70s and 80s talking about they African American, Native American, Indian, Aboriginal, and we are Aboriginal and Indigenous. However, what's simply wrong with just being an olive shade Moroccan or American? Oh, well, that ain't, how do you know that's not ours? Why do you keep crediting the pale skin with that which they cannot really have come up with? Remember, everything that the pale skin does, even with their own order of Christ and Mary, comes from Islam, because that's what they were under first. And the dictators who were on some bullshit, that's why they're dictators. That dark priesthood, Islamic dictatorship is what caused what we're reading and been reading these last 13 Fridays. I don't know why we keep thinking we're some goody good people of the past. We're pretty fucked up. And we need to get our shit together. I yield, bro. Islam.
If the subject of race, blood, color, and nationality should animate from their lips, all you have to do is asking this question. Have you read the history of Yakub? And as a result, the subject of blood, color, and race will come to an abrupt close without
Supposed to be without an argument, without the, but we've been navigating through the typographical errors pretty awesomely by paying attention to the intent of the topic. Go ahead, I yield.
The question involves the history the white people has thought you would never know.
Exactly, because I think they know. They're like, oh shit, we know where it's, and it's nothing wrong. That's why I said, I'm not being mean. We're not advocating to be evil and mean. However, truth is truth. Know the foundation pertaining to things. Know what the past record is, instead of trying to be a part of reconstructed history. I'm not interested in U.S.A. reconstructed history. I'm only interested in the past recorded. How is the past recorded? I'm not interested in history. At least not the reconstructed history. I yield the floor, beloved brother Islam.
Islam, warning. Above all, do not emotionally resort to hatred against the blind children of Yakub.
That's why I keep saying I'm not being evil and mean. Because again, remember, reading this over the last 10 years, I'm more than clear. That's why when an Albion daughter shot her shot at me before I'm with my consort I'm with now, I was like, nah, I'm good. Because I already had what I want. I never really had that interest in the Albion daughters. That's just not my thing. Not knocking it. It's not my thing. I don't know what would have happened if I dad said yes. I wouldn't be with my baby I'm with now. And I had just finished watching Get Out anyway, so I wasn't too comfortable. Stop. I'm just serious.
And there wouldn't have been the great baby. There would have been no solar art couple.
Yeah, exactly. I think I made the better decision. Even though maybe, who knows, maybe I was being chosen to help further get rid of,
Leprosy, tuberculosis.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I'm good. However, I yield.
All right. Otherwise, you will be setting up a race of hatred against yourself due to the long process of global amalgamation.
Mm-hmm.
The entire human family has a slight percentage of the new dreadful disease, namely leprosy, TB, and syphilis.
So that means that everybody is some way, shape, form a result of the amalgamation. How about that? Some people are like, yeah, man. I remember I was speaking to the Mother Oracle one time. She said, yeah, some people you can see they'll have skin darker than you, but you go back a few generations, they got pale skin grandparents. It's just like, you know what? I've seen that before. Like there was one video of one girl. I was like, dang, like she was a heavy olive shade. I was like, why her top lip looks so weak? And then when she talked about her grandmother, I said, there you go. That's why. That's why. Okay, I get it. Grandma had a little thing of the swirl, and then that product had something with, an Asiatic. And now I'm looking at this third generation. She's got the skin, but some of them features is questionable. And I was like, there it goes. Okay, now I get it. Now I get it. However, I yield. Islam.
After World Conflict 3, there will not be enough blind sons left to continue the spread of the aforementioned diseases.
Which is, I think, what's going on now, which is why I think, especially within the last few years, and it's going to continue even more, these pale skinned daughters, they want their baby back ribs. You know what I'm saying? In other words, the moon wants its water back. You see what I'm saying? The Albion daughters are going for more sons. They really are. They're going for the Asiatic son. That's what they desire. That's what their nature is calling for. That's why how many more how many of the blonde sons are you really seeing? Like when I come across Albion sons, most of them have the Moorish mark. They have the dark hair, dark eyes. They got the Moorish mark. I yield. Brother Derek Blash Base says the world of make believe when he was referring back to what was that up here? Was that up here?
White
Names of
supremacy,
deception.
Yeah.
Your name, yeah. Walls of China. Right. All right. I yield, bro. It's fine.
All right. Let's see. All right. So the blind women will be spared to face the long evaded issue on global scales, namely amalgamation with the Asiatic sons, from which will destroy the cherished white quote unquote skinned people. And
she don't care though. She wants that Moorish son. But go ahead, I yield.
She want that Moorish. She want that Asiatic son.
Mm-hmm. And their disease.
And their disease in the course of 90 years.
90 years.
Of 30 years each.
That's all it takes. I yield, beloved brother. It's fine.
All right, the era of the Great Battle on the Gulf of Mexico or Mexico between the Muslims and the Christians. 1585 Christian calendar year, equivalent to 1005 Moorish calendar, the era which resulted in the destruction of the Moorish fleet and fort in the Gulf of Mexico and the land of flowers, quote unquote, known today as Florida, and the island of Isabela, known today as Cuba. 1646 Christian calendar year, equivalent to 1066 Moorish calendar year. The era of the onward rush of vandalism, that is, burning Moorish cities and destroying everything else in the category of Moorish culture and design. The Christian educators have taught that those forementioned events occurred in England across the Atlantic Ocean involving the destruction of the Spanish Armada. Well, during that era, the island of Albine had not been named England.
Whoa.
Woo! Dang, son, where'd you find this? Well, hold on,
Damn,
DJ.
son.
Hold on, bring that back.
Damn, son. Where'd you get this? Go ahead. I yield, bro.
Liaholics.
Yeah, I know, right?
Term shit. Right? So yeah, well, during that era, the island of Albine had not been named England. Therefore, there could have not been an English nation on that island, namely Albine.
And it's funny because even if you check, there's even a soccer team called West Bromwich Albion, right? Which is even funny too, because when speaking about Lewis Lincoln Emerson, who was the Secretary of State or the State Secretary for Illinois, who became the governor by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, advocating that Moors cast a free national ballot for him because he honored Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Where it says he manifested December 23rd, 1863, it was called Albion, Illinois, which is interesting, just to kind of put that context clue out there also. But yeah, man, yeah, as we can see, where it's been reconstructed in so-called history that certain events happened somewhere, it was here. I yield.
That island was under the rulership of the Muslims. Not only that island, but the whole entire chain of land known today as Europe.
Looky, Astro Cookie. So that's why I said the original Europeans are olive shade, copper toned, quote unquote, so-called dark brown skin. That's why I said that what you think is a European is a South American. I yield.
It has already been stated elsewhere in this book that the Latin phrase, namely English, quote unquote, is the phrase from which the phrase English was coined in the geographical regions of Virginia and New Jersey.
Look at that. Where was it coined?
Ooh, in the geographical regions of Virginia and the New Jersey.
Yes, and that's why even near the Maryland State Republic on the exotic maps, that's where you'll find near the Maryland State Republic. It's called Britain. Speak on that for a bit, though, brother Sean. I'll be right back.
Ooh, of Britain. I mean, it's just that. The people have been, well, I can say we all have been mistrained and miseducated by the public school system, cut off from our history, ancestors and all that. So when people are coming into this information, they might not be able to take it. But, it is what it is at the end of the day, because there has been this disconnect that all these things happened over here or they happened over there. And, that people think they're from over there and, their life starts on slave ships. And that's where it got started. And it's like, yeah, you might want to actually kind of start doing some research and, get out of disbelief, of which you have been told and grown upon and have came to be an adult. grown up, and really look at things for what they are. It's already been stated in this book, fear and ignorance, right? The white people, quote unquote, know who we are, but we don't know who we are. We fear who they are, and they fear who we are. Can you not see that going on? Um, you know,
Mm.
can you not see it? It's fear, ignorance, and hatred. And all it really is truth that is needed because the lies has breeded this fear and ignorance. But people don't. I can't say what people don't and won't, but the truth needs no apology. It's just that the truth hasn't really been understood. Only the half truth has been expressed. We're giving it to you here, and it's already been brought. By Prophet Noble Draw Ali, CM Bay, Emmanuel, Ali. Like, and even Albion's has came and wrote books and told y'all what it was.
Yeah, the worst book of them all is the one that's called The Princess and the Prophet by Jacob S. Dorman. Something has to be done, said, written to let it be known that that guy is out of order and he is lucky to still have breath in his lungs with such bullshit that he wrote in that book called The Princess and the Prophet. Shout out to Mother Rashida Bey. She gifted me that book. And all I did, I just read the back of it, the back cover. I was like, I'm not going to be able to get through this book because every part of me wants me to be like, you ignorant ass pale skin, how dare you have the audacity to put something together and then the picture of who you're saying is Prophet Noble. That's not Prophet Noble Drali. Why are you on that bullshit? It is one of the worst books. It is horrible of what they wrote about, of what Jacob S. Dorman wrote about. Jacob Yakub S. Dorman wrote about Prophet Noble Drali. But anyway, are we still at, Virginia and New Jersey, the region of England?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the region of England of the lily white, quote unquote, world, covering from the Atlantic to the Pacific, and from the equator to Alaska and Greenland, referred to as Royal Crown of England, quote unquote, dominating over the land of the Moors, the head of the Moroccan Empire of the Muslim world, Islam.
Look at that. That's what I'm saying. What are we talking about? You guys can think, oh yeah, England over there. All that got its start here. That our pale skinned sons and daughters, our Albion sons and daughters, you are loved. Alrighty, know that. However, you don't have nothing original. Everything comes from Asiatics. Everything. And that's why I said the three pale skinned sons who were doing their best to make sure shit was in order and being done right after being taught by Big Ben Bay, Emmanuel Ben Bay Muale, is Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams. That's it. That's it. I yield.
Mhm. After the formation of the United Republic of Rome in 1865, the statue of the stone god Christ, quote unquote, was erected in Patagonia or Argentina in the year 1892, which is equivalent to 1312 Moorish calendar year.
Look at that. So the United Republic of Rome, 1865. That sounds like the end of slavery.
Slavery, yeah, I was saying slavery, yeah.
And then you're telling me 7 years later you erect the stone god, quote unquote, Christ. Okay. All righty. I yield, bro.
All right, that statue is referred to as Christ of the Andes, quote unquote, the stone god of the Roman nations of the world, dead culture.
Dead culture. Black
Dry bones
culture.
in the valley.
Black culture. Go ahead. I dry bones in the valley. Yep.
of ignorance and the Christian world.
Islam. I yield.
Yaqub made the first ruddy pale-skinned sons through animalistic experimentation, who reproduced or begets their kind through relationship with the Asiatic woman.
So basically, you got these troglodyte nigger monkeys, and I'm not being mean when I say that. That's the actual name, troglodyte nigger, inseminating Asiatic women. I yield.
Mm-hmm. The sons took the ruddy, pale-skinned feminine of Asiatic mothers for their wives, so as to perpetuate the reproduction of their kind, both feminine and male, namely ruddy pale skin.
Look at that. Look at that. Mm-hmm. That's why at the end of the day, it's like, the power to make things happen is both the olive and pale skin women. However, those that are supposed to be helping them, defibrillate ovum in womb, or in other words, help them to be with child, is the Asiatic sons, or maybe the pale skinned sons with the Moorish mark. Maybe. I yield.
Mm.
All of which.
All of which were derived from the Asiatic woman and her son, Yaqub. Thus, the Asiatic woman is definitely the great God, quote unquote, of love and wisdom, who created the devil, quote unquote, and her sons, who multiplied their kind.
Look at that. The lived backwards. Devil is lived backwards. So it's referring to the pale skinned daughter and her sons who multiplied their kind. Respectfully, again, this is not being mean. I trust you guys can handle this. I yield.
Thereby converted the world into that which is termed hell, quote unquote, which involves false education in the category of religion.
False education in the category of religion, which is dogma, dead culture.
Dead culture. Let us remember that the white, quote unquote, woman is the pillow of the KKK of the KC. So, the Ku Klux Klan of the Knights of Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
She educates her sons during its 9 months maturity to destroy, fight, and die in order that she might remain the god over the Asiatic nation.
Whoa. Whoa. This is why we do not seek to amalgamate with the pale skinned nations of Europe, quote unquote. But Prophet Noble Ali was speaking to a people who were not in proper mindset because they still thought pale skins came from Europe until they got that added lesson that they're South Americans. And then that Albion daughter needed to get proper knowledge and brought out of the dark, educated, right? So that she's not teaching the little one, because 9 months maturity, it said, right? 9 months maturity. Don't teach in that first schoolroom called the womb to destroy, fight, and die. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kill your father. that's what that lesson is called. It's called Kill Your Father. The curriculum of kill your fathers. kill your mothers and fathers for real. But make sure I'm on top. Just if they got brown skin, kill them. They got olive shape, kill them. That's why I said it had to be fixed. I yield, bro. Islam.
She, the white, quote unquote, woman's scientific secret of educating her child during its 9 months maturity is referred to in their religion as the anointed ones, quote unquote, the code of Christianity.
Mm-hmm. So that's according to their dogma belief system. I yield.
Thus, the first and last Christian died on the cross of ignorance, violence, and human warfare.
Look at that. Look at that. That doesn't need an ad lib except look at that. I yield.
The foregone conclusion has fully explained the white sun, quote unquote, image, the Christ of the Andes, quote unquote, also the God of love and wisdom, and the God of hatred and destruction.
Look at that. So, our Moorish mothers, Coppertone mothers, are the call upon pertaining to love and wisdom, where our Albion daughters are the call upons pertaining to hatred and destruction. And this is what we got to clean up. And that's why it's good when you can find Albions who can read Prophet Noble Drew Ali's literature and CMB's literature and not get offended and sincerely do their part in assisting. I yield the floor, beloved brother Islam.
Conclusion. Through scientific knowledge of the universal law of nature, as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac, and the square angle of 90 degrees, the monetary or dollar system was founded by the cultured Moors. Money has not and never will lift falling humanity or nations.
Has not and never will uplift fallen humanity or nations. So look at that. Look at that. I yield.
It requires a national and international mass education of the universal law of nature as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac to establish peace and uplifting humanity.
So you think 7HealStar astrology firm, even though, like I said, soon we won't have 7HealStar.com any longer, because people aren't coming for that which they need, which is the mass education of the universal law of nature, as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac, to establish peace and uplift humanity. And again, you think I have my first astrology coloring book and these astro oracles just to do a puppet show with puppets I made, when I have this in my mind? By the time I made this, I was 3.5 years in by the time I made this in Astrology Street. Then read CMB's literature and Prophet Noble Drew Ali's literature, and probably by this time at least 6 times fully, knowing that this is what the people need. If the people don't know, and I'm like, oh yeah, them brothers know astrology. I'll get into it some other time. So when do you run to get into peace and uplifting fallen humanity? Why do you think we're doing what we're doing? We're astrologers, internationally certified professional astrologers that's been providing these things. Yeah, I know 7HealStar.com is still up now, but when GoDaddy see we ain't giving that bread for it, or the people not giving their finances to keep it up, we just gonna let it do what it do. Because if you don't care about peace and uplifting fallen humanity through the universal law of nature as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac, we're not gonna sit here and try to force you to drink. I yield, brother Sean, this one.
Let's see. Moral principles generates from the science of the 12 signs of the zodiac, as shown by the 4 quarters of 90 degrees each, which represent the 4 quarters of the earth. Also, the 4 quarters of the dollar as a medium of exchange on global scales.
Look at that. And you don't want to study astrology because we need to solve our social and economic problems on this planet. So yeah, I'm grateful and thankful that I was able to have loved ones who's not charging me rent. No, I didn't have what most people have. Oh, I got this mortgage, I got this rent, I got this car note. I didn't have those things. So what I dedicated my life to doing is studying this, which we're sharing. Prophet Noble Ali's literature, CM-based literature, period. Anything ancillary to that. Are you mad at us? If you're mad at us, put a 2 in the chat if you're mad at us. If you think, oh, I hate you, Moors, just put a 2 in the chat. Go right ahead. It's fine. We get it. You just don't comprehend what's paramount at this moment. You don't want to be a part of establishing peace and uplifting fallen humanity. That's why you're not trying to learn the universal law of nature as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac. But yeah, bro. Also, the 4 quarters of the dollar as a medium of exchange on a global scale or on global scales. Libra, I yield.
In order for the common masses on global scales to understand the applied moral principles of the dollar system, it is necessary to temporarily destroy the dollar system until the science of the 12 signs of the zodiac has been taught on global scales.
And this is why I said, this is why we need to make sure people who are public trustees are making sure we have the resources that we need so we can attain to the higher spiritualities in life. But we're sitting here chasing the bag, when what we should be doing is learning law, learning how to direct, instruct, and if needed, discipline those that are governor, attorney general, comptroller, treasurer, speaker of the house, chief justice. Those people are bricks under the chief cornerstone, which is us, the people, the beneficiaries. Are we not comprehending this? We should, and we should quickly. You got a dollar system and don't comprehend that which is based on, which is the 12 signs of the zodiac. How dare you? I yield.
Then the dollar system can immediately be reestablished with moral principle, equality, justice, peace, and progress, minus the slave institution known as mosque, church, and temple, quote unquote.
Which is only there to reform people, to get them to go back to the zodiac, go back to the universal law of nature as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac. But no, you got these slave institutions because you need your ass kicked. Because you fell to an all-time low morally, which is why you even have mosque, church, and temple. Oh, well, you just showed our authority of why Prophet Noble Ali had the Moorish Holy Temple of Science adopted as a corporate name, Moorish Science Temple of America, because you need to be reformed. So why not have a slave institution that doesn't really kick your ass that much? And these people chase Prophet Noble Ali around the temple with a knife? You was jealous? You wanted to take charge of the situation? Are you serious? When this man tried his best to establish something so that y'all wouldn't have a harshness in coming up out of that. Imagine you ain't got to worry about how you're going to get your food, clothing, shelter, and travel from point A to point B, because you have sheiks in place to make law and enforce law. The sheik and the chairman, right? Make law and enforce law, which means we're having these people who are the cabinet of the White House. There's the secretary sitting in the seats of whatever, for having anything that it is that we need, because they're trustees and we're beneficiaries, and they're making sure we have what we need. Because we're doing things in an intelligent tone with the universal law of nature as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac. But no, we want to talk about, no, brothers, this is deep. It's over my head because of the economic and social slavery that ones are participating in. This is what I'm saying, man. But I guess I'm an asshole. I come off harsh. Mother Sahar says, yes, we should comprehend it. I yield, bro. Islam, the Moors.
All right, the Moors of the U.S.A. are the only ones qualified to teach the science and principles of the 12 signs of the zodiac.
And this is why I said, and people probably thought this is why in certain astrological circles, I think the pale skin gets upset because I say they're not actually astrologers. They're astrological enthusiasts. They're enthused with astrology. They can't teach astrology. Not really. All they can do is mimic that which has already been recorded from past time. This is our stuff. Do you know what it feels like to sacrifice not chasing the bag just so you can do what you see was right with what you're reading and studying? And then to have under two handfuls of people donate to you when they can on whatever frequency they can donate. That is tough. But yet we still here. The ones that are the only ones qualified to teach the science and principles pertaining to the 12 signs of the zodiac. You're welcome. You're welcome for the first astrology coloring book. You're welcome for the Astro Aura Cubes. You're welcome for AstrologyStreet. You're welcome. You're welcome for 7HealStar Astrology Firm. How many other people came before us? Did they do this? That's why we say, shout out to Mother Rashida Bey. The Sayarha and only Sayarha for Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs, and for the things that she shared so that we could have some of these things. We got to get our shit together, guys. Seriously. Clock of Destiny Book 2. I guess maybe that's where we'll go next Friday, man. I don't know. Maybe we'll go there next Friday, right? Your master key of civilization, especially for initiated Masons and Eastern stars. 3rd, 32nd, and 33rd degrees. Valuable stones come in small packages. If you are afraid of the truth, beware of this book. So, questions, comments, and/or suggestions in the chat. I'm ready to get some victuals. Questions, comments, and/or suggestions. Going once. Questions, comments, and/or suggestions going twice. I will say, make sure you schedule your Mirror Astro Literacy session with brother Hasan Ghazi Obey. What's the purpose of you scheduling your Mirror Astro Literacy session? So you can have a one-on-one session about learning astrology within a 3-hour time frame. And yeah, we still got 39% off. Yeah, because remember when my mirror sessions was $120 for 2 hours? Now they're $459 for 3 hours. So is everybody saying everything going up? That's okay. We're gonna make sure it's equivalent. However, we got 39% off of that $459, which is $279.99 up until 11:59 59 p.m. Eastern next day, which is the 20th. January, and soon I'll be throwing another 39% off soon, but I'm just saying for now, that's it. That's a wrap. Or if you ever come to me and you be like, yo, I got the promo code reflect, is that still good? Anytime you say to me promo code reflect, or I want to use reflect for my discount, then okay, cool, $279.99 automatically. But after this presentation of Clock of Destiny Book 1, these 13 videos, and now we finished it, how can anybody say that we're wasting our time? We're doing right by you. Whether you're going to say it or not, I'm going to say it. We're doing right by you. Period. We ain't sell you out. We can keep bringing different people every Friday or Tuesday or whatever day. It's not even fully Moorish American. They're just Negro Black color, but we got to keep the donations coming in. We didn't do that to y'all. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I said, man, like, shit real, yo. Like, for real, man. We did the right thing. We continuing to do the right thing. Melissa Hart says, as always, sincere gratitude. Ye deserve it. Yeah, I know. We definitely we definitely do. Make sure you schedule to have your mental magician report from Brother Sean Lee Mel. Alrighty. Like I said, once the website is completely gone and GoDaddy shuts that down or whatever, guys, we'll because like I said, we only had the website up anyway because people asked us to do it. You know what I'm saying? People asked us to do it. It's the only reason we did it. Because like I said, we were able to just book readings through being live on Facebook or Instagram. Now we have, YouTube and TikTok. Never really kept up with the Twitter thing, so it is what it is anyway. Which is now X, right? So yeah, make sure you schedule. You know what I mean, through us. You can, even if you can't get us, what do you say? The DM was for Instagram or the inbox for TikTok or whatever. Don't even worry about it. Just put a comment. You know what I mean, in our videos, and we'll get the notification. Yeah, man, I want to get my mental magician report. Oh, okay, hey, brother Sean, look, in the comment of this particular video, somebody said they wanted a mental magician report. We might reply, what's your email? You know what I'm saying? Or, you can find us a 7HealStar on Instagram and TikTok. Brother Sean is Leo Mercury Moor 711 on TikTok, and 720 Astral Healing, ASTRAL Healing, 720 Astral Healing on Instagram. He's got an official 720 Astral Healing on TikTok also. You know what I mean? And so, reach out to us, guys. Don't be shy. No more questions, comments, and or suggestions going thrice. This is where I'm going to do our invocation out, right? And say, be yourselves and donate. Alrighty, yeah, you guys know in the description, you'll see me and Brother Sean's Cash Apps. Donate accordingly. You want to donate 300 notes to us, and you but it goes to one Cash App, just put a note. Split this with your brother. Leave the Cash App that it goes to. Or send 150 to Brother Sean and 150 to me. And that's just you showing your respect for what it is that we do and helping to assist in bringing forth peace and uplifting fallen humanity. Telling you, man, after this series here, this Clock of Destiny Book 1 series, and finish it off with this 13th video here, bruh. I don't know how anybody could really still get it twisted, honestly. Like for real, G. I don't know.
They get it twisted. They want to twist it because this Holy Quran devotional countdown, and just I'm trying to think of the good ones. The Veritas presentation, the Cloran supersedes the Cloran. Like, what more do y'all want? What more needs to be said, done, showed for y'all? Like really. So I know it's like that Jay-Z song, what more can we say? Like, what more? Like, we've did remember the impromptu improvs where we was calling folks like, like what else? Like, I mean, what else?
We've done the right thing, and we're continuing to do the right thing. That's it. That's all. So I'm going to yield the floor here, and guys, I would like for all of you to extend all 5 appendages on the left hand, just the index and middle on the right hand. We're going to face east, which metaphysically denotes going within, and we're going to stand with our feet on a 45-degree angle, and you can repeat after me either aloud or in your hearts.
Islam.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth. Peace. Freedom.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector,
my guide,
my guide,
and my salvation.
and my salvation.
By night
By night
and by day.
and by day.
To his holy prophet,
To his holy prophet,
noble Drew Ali.
noble Drew Ali.
Amen. We love you all so much. When you go to get your victuals, make sure you eat good, enjoy yourself, and make sure it's healthy for you and does good for your body. When you go to rest and recharge, make sure you rest and recharge well. We love you all. This is where I say to you all, on behalf of 7HealStar Astrology Firm, I'm Brother Hasan Ghazi Obey, Brother Shaunalee Mel, on behalf of Brother Corey Bay, Brother Terrell Samari Bay, and Brother R. Muaba Bay, is where we say to you all, namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, 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 y'all. Peace.